Good morning. I went to apologize. I couldn't get it up. My Wi-Fi wasn't working, and just got everything going. So this is a another session of daily spiritual medicine. It is June the 28th, and it is actually 8:30 a.m. So it took me about an hour to get things going, and I apologize for that. And today I want to take just a few minutes on our discussion on daily spiritual medicine, volume 38. And I want to talk about what is universalism and are we universalists? Many people have had a lot of discussion about that over my understanding and our understanding. And so I thought I'd talk on it just a few minutes. And I've seen a lot of discussion about our understanding. And many of the message folk call my understanding universalism. And universalism has been around for centuries, long before me, and seems to have a progressive view of salvation and Unitarianism and universalistic salvation, as to say that everything eventually will be saved, reconciled, and that's everything. Now, universalists believe that hell is, in fact, a place. So, they believe it's a place where people go for the punishment of their sins. And they believe that includes the devil, Satan, and his evil spirits. He is a person. This is universalism. Universalists do not believe in annihilation, meaning something going out of existence. So they believe there's a place called hell. They believe there is a punishment for our sin in hell. And they believe that Satan and his evil spirits are persons who will, in the end, be reconciled. Universalists believe that Satan, the devil, is a person and will be purged. I guess purged is the best word to use. They believe he will be purged and accepted into the kingdom of Christ in the end. So you see all these things about universalism, which we have not taught. Sounds very close to the message folk to me today. But I hope the more that I talk about universalism here for just a few minutes, that the more you understand that we are not Unitarian Universalists. They have a lot of good things, just like any other religion does, but we are not a religion. And so I hope the more that I talk about it, you'll understand that we're not Unitarian Universalists. We know that the devil, Satan, is not a person and cannot receive salvation. You can't if you're not a person and you're not an entity, botany, animal life, human life, whatever it might be, if you're not something that has a life form in it, then you cannot receive salvation. The devil is a less than, let me put it like this. The devil is a less than eternal quality about us. I hope that sticks to you for a moment. The devil is a less than eternal quality about us. It is a quality of each person. The devil is a quality of each person, an attribute, an expression, a character, a nature. A nature is not an entity. The spirit is the entity. And so this quality that is not eternal, it is a quality of each person that was created in our image. We are the spirit, and our image is the beast. I hope that comes across to where you can understand it. We are the spirit, we are eternal, and the image is the beast, and we cannot bring this beast to salvation, nor can we reconcile it to the spirit. The beast nature must die. That's very clear throughout prophets' messages, right up to today. The beast nature must die. It's a nature. It's not an entity. It's a less than eternal quality about you. And so I want to say this. The beast nature must die and dissolve, or as many have put it, be annihilated. But they don't understand what's being annihilated. They think a person's being annihilated. It's not a person being annihilated. It is a nature. It is a character. It is a quality within your nature that is not eternal. Okay, the beast was created by you and with the purpose of temporal qualities. It was created for a great purpose, and with a purpose of temporal qualities, to bring to our attention qualities and weaknesses about us. So this beast nature, we are the spirit. We created an image and created it as one of the prophets said, subject to vanity, less than perfect. And we created this to bring our attention to our qualities of weakness and the qualities about us that we have that are not eternal. They will go. It's like a little baby. I was one. I was a little child in my mother's arms. I will never be that again. That was not an eternal quality. The quality was a temporal quality, and I grew out of that, and I grew into a young man, and I grew into a matured adult, and I kept going until I found myself to where that I don't go back to those things. I don't go back to trying to learn arithmetic and trying to put a coat on that I didn't know how to put on. And all those things are qualities that were less than eternal about us. And it was for the purpose of showing us, helping us to understand our weaknesses, to bring to our attention qualities and weaknesses about us. We created this beast in a temporal manner to give us a showing or a contrast or an understanding about ourselves. Now, you go on, and we see that we cannot bring this beast to salvation. And the beast was created by us. It has temporal qualities, brings out the weaknesses within us, the vanities within us, the things that we don't like to subject to. It brings us out, and this was done to strengthen us. It's not a bad thing. Weakness, vanity, less than eternal qualities were a great thing for us to be able to understand ourselves and understand who we are. Now, this was done to strengthen us. It is a part of us that must have an end. Now, you might say to yourself, No part of me will have an end. You need to read your prophet's message. He said, there are things about you that have an end, and there are things about you that are eternal. And he said, the life travels through all of it and moves on out, and some things die out while other things continue on. Read Works as Faith Expressed. You'll get a good picture of it. The book of life and the Lamb's book of life are eternal and temporal qualities, and it moves itself right on out. So this was done to strengthen us. We were given these qualities. We do not believe in universalism. We do believe in annihilation. We don't believe there's a person called Satan or the devil who is going to receive salvation. It's a process. It's a vanity. It's a less than eternal quality within you. And you work through that, learning more and more about yourself, and you purge that temporal thing out of you. Now, this was done to strengthen us. It's a part of us that must have an end. Universalism does not come where we are at when it comes to these things. The devil, Satan, is not a different person than us. He's just not. The devil is not even a person. It's a nature about you that you created to understand yourself in a greater way. It is not a person, but a quality of vanity and weaknesses to help us understand the discipline administered for vanity, for missing the mark, for all of those things, for our weaknesses. The tree of the knowledge is our iniquity. We broke into that. It's not an eternal tree. We broke into that. The tree of knowledge is our iniquity and weaknesses that opens our understanding to a perfect strength. That's what it does. It is weaknesses. It is vanity. It is iniquity. It is less than eternal. And we created it to open our understanding to a more perfect strength than we had before. Universalism will not touch this. They won't come near it. We're not universalists. Let the message folks say everything they want. We're not universalists. Universalism won't touch what I'm talking about. Listen closely and think on this. I posted this little piece right here. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil should build a love for Christ, humanity, greater than when we touched that tree. Prior to, we were one thing. When we touched that tree, created an image and a beast, and let that nature come in a temporal manner to strengthen us, it should, if you're accepting it in the proper way, it should make you greater. If you accept it in the proper and correct attitude, it should give you a love for Christ that you've never known before, a deeper love for one another than you've never known before. And it should grow good morals. It should grow respect and care for the kingdom of Christ and for the people of the earth. That's a pretty simple thing. The tree of knowledge was not put here for you to just go on the rampage of vanity and go on the rampage of indecency. It wasn't put here for that. It was put here for you to have a greater understanding of the love of Christ in you, in humanity, and in everything. That's what it's here for. And it's here for a temporal period. Now, as I was saying, if accepted in the proper and correct attitude, it should grow good morals, respect, and care for the kingdom of Christ and for the people of the earth. Colossians 1:21. Listen to what Paul says. And you that were sometime alienated, all of us were sometime alienated, and enemies in your mind. By wicked works, ye now hath he reconciled. He's not talking about reconciling the devil. He's not talking about reconciling your wickedness. He's talking about reconciling your mind. You were enemies in your mind. You were never enemies. Never. We've always been Christ. But the vanity we created put us into an illusion to believe we were enemies, alienated. And by so doing, he then reconciles us, or we reconcile ourselves to come to the fact that that vanity is not me. That wickedness is not me. That was something I created to help me understand myself more so. Ephesians 4:18, this I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk. Where? In the vanity of your mind. That's the only place there's any vanity. It's laying in your mind, having the understanding darkened. That's what vanity was all about. You took on a lower expression, a lower vibration, a lower frequency. You had your mind, your understanding, your mind darkened, and you had vanity in the mind. And having had all this happen, you were alienated from the life of God, or you didn't understand that you were the very life of God. Listen to what alienated you: through the ignorance, because of the blindness of your heart. So ignorance, vanity, all of these things blinded your mind, took away your understanding, blinded your heart, and then you come back to be reconciled, to have an understanding of who you are. And when you do that, it's not reconciling the devil. It's the devil in this reconciliation, which is your vanity, your weakness, your all of those things. The devil is annihilated. Those things are not eternal. Those things you created for yourself to understand yourself, and you work yourself through those, you overcome those, and you put them away. You put away all of those ungodly things. You put away the ungodly morals. You put away the ungodly thinking. You no longer are alienated. You're no longer ignorant in your mind. You no longer hold vanity in your mind. You put those things away. You overcome them, and you keep moving forward, and you keep becoming greater and greater and greater as the veils are removed from the mind, because that's the place where you were an enemy. You thought you were an enemy of God. You thought you were alienated. Now we're finding out we never were. We never were. That is just an illusion that you created to make yourself stronger. I hope this helps, and love bless you. I'm sorry I was late. I couldn't help it. I couldn't get it going, but that is my thought. My thought is about, are we universalists? And what is universalism? No, we are not universalists. And universalism can't touch where we have gone to. Love bless.